Brian Quita, at the top of mind right now for parents is safety at schools. And tonight, the district discussed the role. As you can imagine, the families of the Uvalde shooting victims are still grieving. We heard from some of them today who expressed their anger and frustration after seeing the surveillance video from inside the school. This is the third Hayes CISD student who has died of a suspected fentanyl overdose in just a month. The district says that all high schools have been affected. A frightening situation, not only for the pilot of that plane that crashed into the lake, but for those who witnessed it. Brian and Quita, we know many Austinites want answers after the boil water notice. This right here just shows you how dangerous the road conditions are. This Texas Parks and Wildlife plane here behind me took crews about 6 hours to get out of the water after it crashed into Lady Bird Lake. O'Rourke's campaign says this isn't the first time items like that are passed out at their events. It is a big party out here. I don't know if you can hear this, but there is music playing. People are cheering, and there are just thousands of people lined up here on Congress Avenue in downtown for this parade. The CDC has given its stamp of approval for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for kids as young as 6 months old. Uvalde City police officer had a chance to shoot the gunman before he entered the school, but the officer didn't shoot. And many families will be spending the weekend together for Father's Day, but for many migrant families, being together is not a reality right now.
No mom should ever find their kid deceased.
For Shannon and Darren McConville, it was unimaginable, losing their 17-year-old son Kevin to a drug overdose in early August.
I could see the color of his face. It was all wrong. I ran to him, and at that moment I knew there was no way of getting my son back.
Their son is one of 3 Hayes CISD students who died of fentanyl overdoses in just a month.
The beginning of 2022, where we noticed an increasing amount of fentanyl overdoses.
Police, the school district, and local medics now sounding the alarm.
Our goal and our focus has been as a school district to get the message to our children.
When EMS gets involved, that's most parents' worst day ever.
For the McConvilles, it was their worst day. And now they're questioning everything.
We went through every stage of grief, thinking what could we have done better? The guilt. I mean, we just moved to Texas 6 months ago, and it's like, well, what if we didn't move? What if I would have chose one other house?
They say Kevin was a good student, loved the outdoors and spending time with his family. No indication that he was taking any pills.
And he gave me the old, come on, Dad, I wouldn't take any pills.
I'm not stupid.
I'm not stupid. And I believed him.
They later learned from one of his friends that Kevin was taking pills to help him sleep at night. But this time, he didn't wake up.
I wish he opened up a little bit more at the end.
Yeah. Because he might still be here.
The McConvilles are sharing their story to raise awareness.
I don't want to read about any more kids.
Kevin had plans after high school. He wanted to join the Navy.
Such a handsome little guy.
Now, Kevin lives on in photos and the memories of others.
He's in our hearts. He's in our thoughts. And we'll always keep him there. And everything we're going to do, going forward, it's going to be to help honor him.
The Kyle Police Chief is urging parents to talk to their kids and for students to speak up if they see friends taking non-prescription pills. Chief Barnett says this has taken a toll on first responders. He says he's been there, and to watch these families find out their loved one is not coming back is heart-wrenching.
8 days after a tornado, that wasn't necessary.
Just outside of Elgin city limits, Chris and Davina Zelensky and a few of their neighbors got this letter attached to pictures of their home.
And it just basically said our house is unsafe, unsanitary, a public and attractive nuisance, and blighted structure under their city code. And I just broke down in tears pretty much.
The letter stated they needed to get a permit to demolish the home within 30 days. But Elgin's mayor says the letter was a mistake.
For that, I feel bad because we're trying to help our citizens.
Mayor Ron Ramirez says the letter was a template that wasn't edited correctly before it was sent out.
The letter had some what could be considered brash or uncaring remarks about, you got to get this fixed or we're going to demolish your house. And of course, the city of Elgin is not going to do any such thing.
So he says the city drafted new letters and hand-delivered them to 4 residents.
When we corrected the letter, we let them know that we're going to waive building permit fees. We're going to work with you.
The tornado, already a traumatic experience, and this situation added a lot of uncertainty for the Zelenskys and their neighbors.
My anxiety is like through the roof.
Before you send anything out, you need to proofread stuff. I said, this changes people's life, right? You know, but in the blink of an eye, they think their house is going to be getting bulldozed.
As the debris slowly gets picked up, people are making do with what they still have.
It's not unlivable. We're living in it. It's not unsanitary. I mean, we have running water, we have electricity. It's not falling down on us.
In Elgin, I'm Maria Aguilera. A historic decision by the Supreme Court, striking down Roe v. Wade.
The pro-life movement has been working towards this decision for 50 years.
Today, we have woken up with less bodily autonomy and freedom than we went to sleep last night.
Abortion rights! Those upset about the landmark opinion took to the streets of Austin, marching to the state capitol. Legal experts say decisions about abortions are now left up to states.
And it is possible now for criminal laws to be enacted and to have force dealing with provision of abortion services.
Attorney David Cole says since strict abortion laws like SB 8 passed in Texas, the only difference we'll see for now is how prosecutors choose to go after these cases.
Basically, anybody in the state that gets wind of someone facilitating an abortion is able to seek civil damages. And that's still a very serious consideration.
For now, Cole says any penalties in Texas only apply to medical providers, not the person getting an abortion. But for those providers,
they're just going to find something else to do. There may be groups that spring up or advocacy groups that are in favor of abortion that now turn their resources to getting people into other states. And there's going to be some litigation about whether or not that's permissible under SB 8.
Now that the Supreme Court ruling is out, protesters in Austin say they feel a sense of urgency, sending a message to lawmakers that this fight isn't over. More protests are planned for the weekend. Tomorrow here in Austin, groups will gather at the state capitol, and rallies are planned for Sunday as well.